Great day, attractive thinkers and visionaries around the world. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your identity coach and get to the root specialist. We want to get to the root, and you can find resources for mental healing, mental strength, and mindset maintenance for new and aspiring entrepreneurs at theattractivethinker.guru. I want to welcome my co host, Tichet Bradshaw, the visual encourager, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We made it. We get to do another week full of power. We get to do what we've never done, go where we've never gone, and have all that we deserve to have in this lifetime. And guess what? It's a great day to not only be alive, but to be aligned.
It is a great day to be aligned. You're absolutely right, Tasha. As a new and aspiring entrepreneur, I trust that you already have your copy of the Attractive Thinker book on Amazon. If you do not, you want to run on over there right now and grab your copy. This transformational experience will support you as a new and aspiring entrepreneur or a person in change or transformation to get the tools that you need to make that happen. Today, we're going to be talking about the topic of coming out. I'm coming out. Why are we talking about that? When you embark upon anything new, you have to leave the old. You have to leave where you came from in order to go where you're going. To share, it's possible also to try and drag all of that old stuff with you into this new space that you're anticipating, but it's going to be cluttered. It's going to be weighty, like heavy. You don't have room for all of that stuff. You have to let some things go. So coming out is a process. We might say, well, Dr. Toni, in a sense of coming out, I didn't have to go through a process. It happened overnight, or I made the decision and I went. But here's the deal. It's a process because you may have physically come out, but spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, that's where the process takes place. Those aspects of you also have to come out in order for you to be fully out. Because have you ever experienced, Tashet, being out, like leaving a place, be it a job or a relationship or an environment, a neighborhood, a house or a car, and you went into the new, but you still had old thoughts and old behaviors and old language, old feelings and emotions, old triggers. That part needs to be renewed as well. That part needs to take those new steps as well, out with the old and in with the new. Like the video, the dramatization that we posted on our website. It's on my YouTube channel, actually, The Attractive Thinker. But out with the old, in with the new. When we talk about I'm coming out of what? Now, we left that up to you. We don't know where you are, in your journey, in your life, or in your business. Coming out of what? It could be anything, but you get to apply this message today to whatever area it is in your life and business that you are anticipating coming out of, or putting forth the work to come out of. And we all are coming out of something at different areas of and stages of our lives. We all are coming out of something because there's no end to us. We're constantly growing and evolving into greater and grander versions of ourselves. So this message today is going to be full of gems and jewels and resources and tools that you will be able to capture in your Attractive Thinker notebook. I know you have that handy because you're going to need it along the way. When we talk about coming out, I can talk about my own experiences. And here's the deal. This is what I want you to understand. Each level, and not just level of coming out, but each experience, like I said, we come out of different things. We come out of jobs. You came out of school. That's a form of coming out as well. How many times have you heard of students coming out of school, anticipating graduation, can't wait till they graduate, so excited and proud of themselves graduating, and then they graduate and they don't know what to do next? or they graduate and they wish they were still back in school, not for the academics but for the relationships and the community and the support that they had, for the familiar, because being out of school and graduating is very unfamiliar. Now where do I go from here? How do I apply what I just learned in this great grand world that I live in? So coming out, meaning they graduated, but are they really out if they're desiring to go back? Are they really out if they don't really know what to do, or they value the experience they had in school more than the experience that they have ahead of them, that they're going to create for their lives? Are they really out? No, there's a process that needs to take place so that they're fully out. You know, you're excited that you graduated, and now you have to have that same kind of excitement for the life that you're creating for yourself going forward, you know, so that you get the full effect of being out. So people are leaving jobs, you come out of relationships, you come out of homes, you come out of families, you come out of neighborhoods, you move to another country possibly, or you come out of a wardrobe or an image, you come out of an old hairstyle or an old pair of glasses. I had a friend who was due for a new pair of glasses, and they didn't want to go by themselves this time. So they asked me to go with them. And I said, why would you want me to go with you? They said, because I like your style. I know you have an eye for certain things. You can pick out things. Because if you don't go with me, I'm going to come out of the eyeglass store with the same pair of glasses that I had on when I went in there. They're not going to be the actual glasses that I have on my face, but I will pick out something that looks exactly like what I have. So we need support in coming out. That's what they're saying to me, Tichet. Coming out, you also need support. It's not enough to just come out with your own idea of what going forward looks like. It's also good to get some advice, or get people around you who have vision, can see your peripherals, those areas, your blind spots, so to speak, those areas that you cannot see, to support you in coming fully out. Because, Tishet, if we don't have support in our lives, we're going to come out bringing a lot of things with us that we should leave in the past, behind us. Talk to us today about the process of coming out. I'm coming out, and we get excited about that. Talk to us about that journey.
Absolutely. One of the things with coming out of something, and we become a different person in the transition of the coming out, right? You have like visionaries, attractive thinkers. If we are always visualizing things, and we're always dreaming, and we're always goal oriented, and we're always wanting and desiring, because visionaries and attractive thinkers are always in movement, right? When we have these desires and visions, once we've reached those visions, then another one comes, another dream comes, another vision comes, because we want to continue to evolve.
Mhm.
When in the midst of evolving, there's growth. And the growth that happens is based on the inner work that's done in the midst of the transition. So when you're coming out of something, you are one person, versus when you're already out, you become another person if you're careful. There is a possibility to try to come out of a situation and then go and recreate the same situation in a different address, in a different building with a different person. You create the same situation, but the reason why that happens is because you didn't take heed to the person who created this situation in situation A. And then you thought that if you left situation A and then you go to situation B, that's the stuff that was happening in situation A would not take place, but there was no change in you from the situation you had in A and the situation you had in B. You created the situation A, right? And let me, when I say created, I don't mean you're the blame for everything that's going wrong. You're the blame for all of the crap that has taken place in situation A. I'm just saying that through your life, a lot of times we are a product of a series of yeses and nos. What we will accept, what we won't accept, what we'll say yes to, what we'll say no to, what we will tolerate, what we won't tolerate, right? You have a series of yeses and nos, right? But then you have cause and effect. Sometimes you have certain causes that affect certain things, and then certain effects that causes certain things, and a cycle of cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. Well, when we don't know how things developed over time because we haven't done the inner work or the assessment, it's possible to overlook what caused the beginning of the thing you were trying to get out of, so that you won't cause it when you get to situation B. So it's necessary to assess who you are and allow yourself to mentally and spiritually grow out of whatever it is you're trying to get out of physically. You have to mentally grow out of it first, so that when you get over here to situation B, you're not bringing the new wine in old wineskin and causing it to break. You're not allowing yourself to take the same things that held you captive over here to hold you captive over here, right? And so when we are transitioning out, some of the things that you have said that we needed is definitely necessary. For instance, you said support. Now, support is different for people, right? The type of support that we need when coming out of a situation, whether it be a job, a marriage, a house, a business, something a contract, something you've gotten yourself into, but need to get yourself out of in order to evolve. You might have had an idea or a business that was once thriving, it was once good, you loved it, but now you have grown and now you would like to try something else, because again, taking on these human experiences allow us to experience different things. We are not here to be stuck doing one thing. We are multifaceted individuals. And so we have to try different things in order for us to have growth. We don't want to be stale, stagnant, and stuck and live a life where we are just flatlining, doing the same thing every day, routine Monday, things, and then we live a life of boredom, not us. So when we are coming out of those situations, we need a certain level of support. Now, one of the levels of support you need is having, like you said, Dr. Toni, having the advice of somebody who is knowledgeable in that area, who might have been there or done that, got the t-shirt, rode the roller coaster. You might want to make sure that they have the right mindset of the advice you're giving, because every advice ain't good advice. Just because you failed at it don't mean I failed at it. What's the whole reason why you failed at it? Look at the whole story as a whole, and don't just assume just because they failed that means you'll fail too, right? Because everybody has a different purpose. So see where you are with that before taking advice. Take every advice with a grain of salt, right? But we need people to be able to tell us, okay, there's things over there you might want to consider when you get there. You might want to prepare for what's over there, because you might have in your idea how situation B is going to be, and you might have the joy and encouragement down, but you don't realize the type of fights you will have when you get there, which will be different than the fights you're used to if you do it right, right? And not to see that we have to always be in a fight, but when you go into situation B and you have the level of confidence, you have to, once you get in that territory, you still have to defend it. You still have to make sure that you stand up for what you just finished working so hard to accomplish, right? And we have an episode, Dr. Toni, now that you got it, defend it. I think that's what it's called. I'll put that up so that people can see what the real name of that is. But there's a different type of fight that comes with living your vision than the fight that you had to do to obtaining your vision, right? So the support that we need tends to change. Number one, you got to know how you are and what type of support you need, because every support ain't good support. Some people think that y'all supporting you by talking you out of doing what you think you want to do. They got all these fears of who did this and who did that and why you shouldn't do it, not realizing you were capable of this. You were called for this. You were called to walk in this. And just because they can't do it or can't see anybody else doing it does not mean you can't do it. Everybody does not want what you desire. Everybody does not have vision. I'm just realizing that everybody does not see visions when people talk. Who knew? I thought whenever somebody read a book or tell a story or talk to you, you can see it in your mind. But apparently, a lot of people don't, right? But then there are people who do, and so you have to understand what type of support that you need going forward. Sometimes your greatest support is not going to be the one that's already there. Sometimes your support might be from people who have not been there, but support you in pushing you from behind, right? They'll say, okay, I need you to succeed. You go forward. You push this so you can show us that it can happen. You know, some people will push you from behind. Some people will pull you from the front. People go first, trailblazers, pathfinders that go in and break those paths open just so other people can walk through. And then there's people who will push behind where they will motivate you to transition out of where you are to where you're going because they don't have the strength to, but they need you to have the success so that you can pull the whole family through, right? Your family, for instance, sometimes your family needs you to come out. Sometimes your family needs you to achieve your dreams and goals. Why? So, number one, they know that it's possible. And number two, they can begin to see that dreams happen. Some people, they stop dreaming after the first heartbreak or disappointment. But attractive thinkers, visionaries, we don't stop dreaming regardless of what happened. You will literally have to kill my spirit for me to stop dreaming, right? I would have to be no more for me to stop dreaming because no matter what I go through, there's a little inkling or dream that's always playing in the background that says this can be better. And that's what we hold on to sometimes, right? And so when you're coming out, you have to have the belief. Once you have the support, you have to have the belief that you can. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes, and this is the truth, the belief is going to waver.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the belief is going to waver, but faith, which we talked about before, which is different but belief. Belief is saying you have the evidence and you believe that you can make it, but faith is knowing that you can, regardless of whether or not you have the evidence, regardless of whether or not you think it could happen. You just the mere possibility of it, you're willing to have that energy be strong enough to make you make a move, right? Um, Sometimes your belief, you'll say, well, I'm not sure if I can do it. You have to be teamed up with people who can hold you accountable to your dreams and your goals, who can hold you accountable to your whys. And if you don't have anybody in your life that can hold you accountable to your whys, Dr. Toni got a whole group of attractive thinkers that come together. We got support groups, the Beyond the Break groups, the attractive thinker groups that where people come together to support like-minded individuals in reaching their goals and shifting their mindset, right? So you can go to Dr. Toni's website, the attractive thinker guru, to find out how you can get the support you need. So anyway, if you don't have any support or you would like more support. Anyway, once you have the support, and you have the belief that one of the support that you'll have is when your belief wavers, you have somebody to say, no, you said that this is what you wanted to do. You said that you can believe it. Didn't you say your why was because your family never made it out? So you got to make it out. Why would you give up and give up on your family? Didn't you say that you enjoy this, that this makes you feel alive? Sometimes you need that reminder
Yes.
that this is what makes you feel alive so that you can feel the energy that pulls you forward. There's an energy that pulls you forward. See, when I do visualizations for visual encouragement, I take your dreams, your goals, your desires, your vision. This is why I cannot work with people who don't have vision. This is why my people are called visionaries. When you are a visionary and you have vision, you have something I can work with. I take your vision and help you to see it crystal clear so that you can attach yourself to the energy of it. And then you can then go and take that energy and let it be strong enough to pull you through the process of achieving your goals, right? Because everybody can sit here and think about what they would like to do and dream about where they want to go and visualize what they want to do. But it takes a certain type of visual encourager to be able to pull your vision so strong in a way where you almost can taste it. And
Mm,
it's so strong that you can't not do it anymore. You can't sit on it anymore. You done felt the energy of it, and now you don't want to live nothing but the vision. You're not willing to accept anything less than the vision. You're not. It does not give you room for settling, right? And so you have to have different types of support and a belief in somebody who knows what you believe and somebody who knows your vision to help you to transition out of something that was once serving you but is no longer serving you to a life that is thriving where you feeling alive and aligned and you are achieving things and more creative now. We want to live a life where we can create, regardless of what it is you create. If you create music, if you create books, if you create art, if you create healing experiences, everybody wants to create something, right? That's the whole point of taking on this human experience. It was the creator's reason to come in and experience the created and keep on creating, right? And so when we come in this human experience, we want to create experiences, right? And don't take that for granted when I say create experiences, because a lot of us, we will get into one job and be stuck on that job for years and never seeking out the happiness because that job pays well.
mhm,
That job is six figures, and everybody would be happy to be in your shoes, and they would be excited to be able to have a job like that. And meanwhile, you going in there and you like every day you gotta cry in the car before you walk through the door to get yourself together, right? So you have to be able to push past having a life where you live like that every single day and have the idea that there's more that I can achieve in this life. We're not meant to be stuck there. We're meant to create different experiences until we find that one thing that makes us wake up. We find that one thing that makes us feel alive, that keeps us moving, that keeps us energized. The one thing that makes you not be able to shut up or not be able to go to bed. You want that one thing that gives you energy. Every time somebody brings it up, oh, you just have so much to say. You just have so much knowledge and information. You have so much desire going forward. You have such vision, right? And so when you find that thing, watch out, because you can come out of any circumstances once you have that thing in mind. You can use that thing to bring yourself out of many situations over and over again. So when you're coming out and you have the belief and you have the support and you have the vision, now you need to have the courage to be able to let go. You have to have the ability to learn the art of letting go. If that's what I would suggest, learn the art of letting go. You have to have the courage and the ability to let go of point A. Now, point A can provide comfort. You got to let go of your comfort zone. Point A can provide it might be good, but if you want greatness, you're gonna have to learn how to go from good to great, right? If greatness is calling you, if you okay with settling for good, then by all means, go ahead and do that. We're not telling anybody to let go of anything. We're saying if you need support in going from point A to point B, you're gonna have to let go of point A.
mhm.
Point A has so many good qualities in it that makes you say, do I really want to let this go? But you got to figure out which speaks louder: your dream, your vision, your goals, the life you want to live in point B, or the comforts of point A. You have to decide which one is stronger, which one speaks louder: the comfort of A, or the vision and the goals and the life that you imagine and the dreams that you have for point B. Which one speaks louder to you? Because whichever one speaks louder to you is the one you'll most likely follow. If point A is speaking louder, you say, oh, well, it's good money and I should stay here. Oh, well, I had a hard time finding this job. Oh, well, my friend actually got this job. Oh, well, my mother wants me to stay in here. Oh, well, my husband is this, that, and the other. Oh, well, my children, you giving excuses to why you stay in point A. If that's louder to you, then you'll stick to point A. While you're saying yes to point A, you're saying no to part B. But if you look at part B, and part B is saying, oh, that dream, oh, that's delicious, oh, that creativity that's going on there, oh, the type of person I will become in there, oh, that life that I want to live is speaking louder, then point A will become easier to let go because point B is so loud that at some point you're going to have to shut the door to point A so that you can live in the hunger that you have for point B. So your hunger will give you the courage to let go of point A so that you can thoroughly
Hmm.
see point B, go through that vision and live it out alive and in alignment. So when you're coming out, there's so many things we have to have, right? And of course, after all is said and done, one of the things we have to make sure we have in order to go from point A to point B is the will.
Hmm.
You have to have the will that no matter what, I'm gonna see this through. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if ever the plan, if somebody threw a monkey wrench in the plan, you're gonna find a way. If you get off course, if your car run off the road, it doesn't matter. At some point, you're gonna make it to point B. How many times have we went on a road trip and we got in a car and on the way to the road trip, you roll over a nail? Are you gonna go home?
Hmm.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna figure out a way? Because I know me, I would have put that little spare tire on there and truck my way to any event that I had my heart set on. Did you have your heart set on it? Was your heart set on it strong enough to make it your will to live it? And so when you're on these road trips and you get in traffic, you get stuck in traffic and all that stuff, you don't let that stuff stop you. You allow yourself the ability to move, to let your will be so strong that you move past any hindrances and hiccups and any limitations and anything that could possibly come between you and part B and point B, right? So you got to let the your will sometimes do the driving. Even if your belief is not there, you're willing to find out, has to be strong enough. So that is support, that is belief, that's courage, that's vision, and that's the will that you all need, and for you to live in the point A, which is where you say, I'm coming out, I'm coming, and then make it out. Do it. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
Yes. I'm coming out. Attractive thinkers, visual encouragers, visionaries around the world. I trust that you are capturing these gems in your attractive thinker notebook because you're going to need them. It's not a if and or but about it. You're going to need these gems going forward when you're at the space and different places in your life whereas you're coming out and continuing to evolve and expand and grow your life and your business. When we talk about I'm coming out, Tichet, you went down the list so beautifully, and I trust that Attractive Thinkers didn't miss anything. And if you did, listen to this message again because it is important on your journey to success. When we talk about coming out, in order for you to come out of anything, you first have to be aware. You have to be aware of where you are and assessing it to see if where I am is where I want to be. Because sometimes we can walk around to shed with continual disappointment, continual, there's a word that I'm looking for. I don't want to say disgrace, but upset, continual upset about where we are, but we haven't given voice to it because like you said, we're in the comfort zone. We're getting something in return for staying stuck. We're getting something in return for it. So we don't give voice to it because we're just doing what we have to do. We're just getting through it. But there comes a point in time where as we're aware that we are silently disturbed, we're silently disappointed, and we have to assess, why am I disappointed? You have to ask yourself these important questions with your attractive thinker notebook open so you can capture what comes up for you. Why am I silently disturbed or silently disappointed or not as happy as I could be. I'm satisfied, I'm comfortable, I'm making the money that I want to make, or I'm getting what I want from this situation, but it feels a little off. It feels like something's missing. It doesn't quite feel like wholeness, completeness, full joy, or full happiness. I just still feel like there's more. So you get to that place where as you begin to do these assessments, and now you ask yourself these questions. Am I happy? Could I be happier? Think about that. You definitely want to write that one down. What is it about this situation that's keeping me here? What am I getting from it? What are the advantages and disadvantages? I used to share these tools with my son who was preparing for college. He was trying to choose a college, and all of the decisions that are ahead of students, during that time. And I said, get a piece of paper, draw a line straight down the middle. On the left, you write down your advantages. On the right, you write down your disadvantages. I said, this is not just for choosing a college or what you want to do with your life going forward. This is about any decision that is tormenting you, any decision where you feel stuck, you're not sure which way to go. Get a piece of paper. What are the advantages of staying here? What are the advantages of leaving, of moving out? What are the disadvantages of staying here? What are the disadvantages of moving out? Moving out from that job, moving out from that relationship, moving out from your neighborhood or your community, moving out of that wardrobe, getting rid of those old clothes that no longer spark joy when you put them on. You don't even want to take pictures. You don't even want to be seen with those clothes on. So you have to get rid of them. So when you write out your advantages and disadvantages, now you get to see on paper what you're working with. You get to see on paper what you've been holding inside. You get to see on paper where you're stuck. And once you see it on paper, then you get to ask yourself another set of pertinent questions, crucial questions. Why am I so tied to these advantages versus these advantages, or these disadvantages versus the other set of disadvantages? Which one has more weight with me? Which one at the end of the game would I regret the most? Holding on to this because of the advantages, or letting it go because of the disadvantages? When will the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, and vice versa? So you have to ask yourself some pertinent questions, and then prior to any of this, Tishet, there has to be an established value for ourselves in order for us to take ourselves through this letting go process, coming out process. You have to value. See, if you don't see your value, I don't like saying not value, you don't value yourself, but if you don't see your value, if you don't see your worth and how important it is, you're not going to take the time to sit down and assess and become aware and ask yourself these important questions. Because if you don't see your value, you don't see the value in asking yourself anything. You don't understand how you work, how answers come up from your spirit when you set aside quiet time to get serious with yourself and ask confronting questions that make you think about what you're doing, how you're living, how you're running your business, what you actually want from this business, things like that. And these clarifying questions really give you the answers that you're looking for. You also mentioned, to shed some belief there. But prior to the belief, after you ask yourself these questions, now that you have the clarity, because you've looked at the advantages and disadvantages, you've asked yourself these pertinent questions, that's where the clarity comes in. That now, with clarity, you have to establish your own beliefs. Once you're clear as to where you are and what's working and what's not working, you have to ask yourself, what is it that I'm believing about this situation, point A or point B, situation A or situation B? What are my beliefs about it? Do I believe that I can actually come out? Do I believe that I can actually come out? And then once I come out, can I handle staying out? I want you to think about that. And then you ask yourself about your beliefs on being out. What do I believe about coming out? Am I am I believing that I'm going to fail, or am I believing that I'm going to succeed? Because there's fear attached to both, failing and succeeding. So you have to get crystal clear on these things. In some areas you won't get crystal clear on, they will become clear as you go. You can't sit until you get clear. Clarity comes as you move forward, as you continue to go. So After you establish your beliefs, now you have to make a decision. And I've walked through this process on so many different areas of my life that I had to come out of to share. And I'm sure you have too. And attractive thinkers and visionaries, this is what I want you to understand. Once you establish your belief, now you have to make a decision. And to shed, that's where the courage comes in at. That's where we're going to need courage to make that decision to come out, to come fully out. And after you get the clarity and the belief in the decision, you're going to need more belief. Because the first experience of belief is enough to get you to make the decision. After you make the decision, you're going to have to believe in yourself and in the decision that you made. And not only in the decision that you made, but in that process. You have to, during the process, you're gonna encounter seasons in that process where you're gonna feel like it's not working, you're not getting the results you're looking for. You should have stayed where you were. You're gonna go through that. You have to understand that process is a part of the process. You have to understand that. Don't negate that or say, because I'm experiencing this, then maybe it wasn't meant for me to come out here, or maybe it wasn't meant for me to leave, or maybe it wasn't meant for me to get to the next level. That whole process, even you feeling like it wasn't meant for you to come out, even you feeling like maybe I should have stayed, that's a part of the process too. You don't give up just because you're thinking these things or feeling these things. That's a part of the process too. What I've discovered to shed is after you enter into fortifying your belief, you enter into consistent action, meaning you do it until you keep moving forward until what, Dr. Toni? Until you reach your goal. Until you reach your goal, because you already have clarity. You did the work, you became aware, you did your assessments of advantages and disadvantages. You ask yourself pertinent questions that most people will never ask themselves in the course of a lifetime. You've asked yourself the hard questions, you got clear, you established your belief, you made decisions, and then you fortified your belief. Now all you have to do is be consistent in your action. You have the courage. You have to be consistent in your action until you reach your goal, until you're out, until you're no longer stuck, attractive thinker. So, this message today, I want to encourage you to listen to it again. Listen to it over and over and over, because every time you listen to it, you're going to, of course, get more gems and jewels from it and more clarity, but it's going to go deeper into your spirit. It's going to shake some things in your foundation, those things that are not only you're holding on to, but those things that are holding on to you. They're gonna they're gonna become loose, whereas you can hear the loose. It's no longer tight. You can hear the rattling. You say, oh, this loose over here, something's over here that's hanging on that I have to let go of. You'll become more aware of the what you're carrying, so to speak. And then you determine and you decide whether this can go with me, because some things can go with you, some things need to go with you. And then you'll determine what you need to let go of. And only you can discern that. Nobody can tell you that, because nobody is you. Nobody can tell you what you need to take with you and what needs to stay, because nobody is walking in your shoes, living in your body. Nobody has your destiny or your purpose. Nobody has your passions and your drives. Nobody has your vision. This is all up to you. And that's why we created the Attractive Thinker Generation, to support you on this journey of coming out as a new and aspiring entrepreneur. Tashet, talk to us. Give us some closing points and tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. So one of the things, Dr. Toni, I wanted to make clear too is to understand what's hindering you, what's holding you back. And again, you have to take an assessment of yourself to know what this is. But one of the things I would like for you all to do is to ask yourself a question: what am I afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I want you to do is take a piece of paper and write make a column, make two columns. One column, on the left hand column, I want you to write down, what are you afraid of with letting go of point A? You say, whatever I'm trying to come out of, you can be coming out of misery, you can be coming out of depression, you can be coming out of a home, out of a job, out of financial struggle. You could be coming out of just being one way and then going into being happy or going into living a life where you feel alive. Be clear of what you're coming out of, right?
Mhm.
Then write a question. What's holding me back? And then I want you in the column, one side, what are you afraid of? Write down everything you're afraid of in that column. What are you afraid of? Write down all the fears in your column. In the second column, I want you to write the complete opposite of that fear. And over top of that, I want you to put what if, right? So you have all of your fear. You might say, so if you are afraid to move and you say, I I won't be able to manage a home on my own. On the other side, she'll say, what if not only I manage it, but I thrive in managing it? If you're afraid to leave a job and you say on one side, the what am I afraid of side, you say, I'm afraid I'll struggle or have money. Though on the other side, I want you to put, what if I I make more money than I ever made to the point where I end my financial struggles, right? And then I want you to turn the word what if to I believe, right? So now you're turning all of your positive what ifs to affirmations, your I believes, and I want you to speak that over yourself. I'm not going to have financial troubles. I'm going to be able to manage my home. I will have a relationship that where I am respected, well-rounded, loved. I will have a life where I feel alive and aligned. I will have a business that is thriving in my passion or thriving in my purpose. I will be able to accomplish and succeed those things that I never thought I could. I will be able to complete some things. I will be able to establish a life that I can be proud of. I have succeeded, right? And I want you to put at the bottom, it all works out for me. I will, I will succeed. I will succeed. And I want you to make that will to succeed, right? And success for everybody is different. Um, Having a job, a house, a marriage, and all this stuff is not always success to people. Sometimes having success is knowing that you have created the best life for yourself based on who you are and you feel wonderful and alive in it. Now, when I say wonderful and alive, it doesn't mean like you're going to be happy every day and nothing's ever going to happen and there's no problems. I'm not selling fairy tales, right? I'm saying to you that when your life has enough sustainable um enough sustainability when it comes to your gifts and your purpose and your passion and the works that come with that. And you have sustainable positive self-talk and uplifting and encouragement and enlightenment going on inside. You have shifted your life from negative self-talk to positive uplifting, right? To living in empowerment, right? And you allowed yourself to build a life where now you can just thrive being you. Imagine for a second having a life you dreamed, and all it took was for you to say yes to thriving on being you. Imagine having that life. What does it take to be you? What do I mean like that about that? What do I mean with that, right? Um, After you have done all the things that we mentioned previously on this episode, and you have did the assessment of yourself, who did you see? Who did you learn? Because learning yourself, that's a journey right there. Learning who you are, learning what you like, getting to know you, and then having the nerve to fall in love with you. Who did you fall in love with? Who do you see yourself being when you get to point B?
Mm.
And is point B so set in your mind that you can't see point A anymore? Because that's something, Dr. Toni, when you're going and you having them consistency to get to point E, there's something that breaks off of you. It's like that yoke breaks. It's like you can feel the let go. If you don't feel that let go, keep going in consistency. You
Mhm.
can feel that let go, and all of a sudden it's a release, and now all of a sudden point B is speaking louder than point A or destination A, right? All of us have our own story and our own journey, and the good thing is you get to create your own story. You get to walk out your own purpose. You get to live the life you way you want to live it. Don't let anyone or anything limit you based on any ideas that other people may have or based on anything you think you have not seen. You can push past all limitations. All things are possible. Anything is possible. And as long as you hold that in your head, allow yourself to see what that possible looks like. What does the possible looks like? Right? To live in a life full of possibilities. And then make no apologies for yourself. Make a life where you don't have to live apologetically. Live unapologetically, in other words, right? In your vision, in your dreams, in your goal, so that you can have a story that will help somebody else see the story in them and allow them to take part of the ripple effect of you breaking free. This is what we call overflow. When you break free so much that your story helps somebody else break free, and their story helps somebody else break free, and their story, and on and on and on, right? You begin to establish a purpose that you didn't even know how much is affecting the earth, but you know it's affecting the earth. We deserve to live a life of fullness, a life of love, self love, love from others, love from what we do, love for our business, love for our passion, love for our God. We deserve to live a life of love. We took on these human experiences so that we can maneuver through life and learn our purpose and evolve and increase a level of consciousness and remember who we are. We have so many reasons why we took on these human experiences. Let it be worth it all. If you're gonna walk through life, let it be worth it. You owe it to yourself to see what you came in here for, to see why you decided to take on a life, and let nothing stop you in a way. So I wanted to just remind everybody to do that. That's making a what if on one side and a what you're afraid of on the other. And then turning that what if into affirmations, and then making sure you believe you have the I will succeed at the bottom as a declaration for you to go from point A to point B. If you want to get out of misery and into a life where you're not struggling, where you're happy, you can have that.
Mhm.
If you want to get out of working for people and you want to establish your own business where it's thriving, where you get to do what you feel like you are great at or what wakes you up in the morning, you can have that. You can also have set A if you want to, point A, destination A. You can have that if you want to. You don't have to move forward, but one thing I will tell you is you don't have to stay still, stuck, or stagnant, and you definitely don't have to live in misery. You do have the option to say yes to moving forward, yes to building, yes to a will. Where you have a will, you have a way, right? And so I just wanted to remind you all, you can have the life you say yes to.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what limitations you think you have. There's somebody out here that pushed past every limitation you said you had. Too short, too small. I look like this. I don't look like that. I don't have arms. I don't have legs. I don't have this. There's people who push past that.
Mhm.
The one thing you need to get to your goal for coming out is breath. Because, like Dr. Toni said episodes before, nothing can stop you but a lack of breath. And as long as you have breath, then your true life is possible.
Mhm.
And that's it. You can all find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for visionaries who desire to move mountain but need help lifting the heaviness so that you can create a new vision for yourself. Go to my blog, go to my Powerwall. Please use my Powerwall. And even though I am no longer accepting new clients at this time, please put in your information if you would like to be notified when I open the doors again to receiving new clients. But in the meantime, enjoy my power wall. Use those words and those encouraging post to uplift you if you don't have a power wall that speaks for you. Use my blog so that you can see the part of life that you would have normally walked past, but find meaningful messages to help you to succeed in life. And again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Awesome. Tashette, I believe the topic of the Beyond the Break episode that we did prior to this episode was You Fought for It, Now Defend It. I think that's what
Yes.
you're trying to say. You fought for it, now defend it. So, attractive thinkers and visionaries, make a note of that in your Attractive Thinker notebook. Go back and watch that episode on our YouTube channel, Beyond the Break 2020. You fought for it, now defend it. You know, I am so excited about this episode here because as a new and aspiring entrepreneur, clients that I coach, they are in a coming out process. And this episode right here is going to really go deeper than I could. It's going to actually supplement our coaching sessions. I can refer them to this episode so that they get a deeper experience of our time together and they get more clarity. The steps that you mentioned to Shet, that you shared with the attractive thinkers and visionaries, are phenomenal. I love when you shifted the statements into affirmations, because it's not so much what other people say to us, it's not what systems say to us, it's not what our childhood and upbringing say to us, it's not even what those random thoughts say to us, but it's what we say to us that makes all the difference in the world. And these affirmations, attractive thinkers and visionaries, I want to encourage you to go back over what Tichet just said about these affirmations, how to flip it and turn it into an affirmation, and then use them. Once you create, because see, these, she gave you the formula for creating your own customized affirmations. Once you create them, then use them. I also want to encourage you to fortify this message that you heard today. In your Attractive Thinker book that you purchased from Amazon, turn to page 540, 540, and it will deepen your experience with this message of I'm coming out, because it talks about why we stay too long. See, you need to know that too. You need to know why you are staying versus leaving. You need to know why you're holding on versus letting go. So read page 540, Why We Stay Too Long, and fortify this message. Listen to this message again. If it resonated with you, click the like button. Share it. Click that share button and share this message with your circle of influence so that they can get this I'm coming out, letting go experience just like you did, just like you received it, because they're going to need it as new and aspiring entrepreneurs or people in the midst of any type of change or transformation. We can't bypass this step. It is a part of the process. You always hear us say, our life's work, that's to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through. It's how you're viewing it. Think abstractive. And we'll see you soon.